All right, hi everyone. I'm just making a quick video. I want to discuss what it's been like trading Forex in China whilst working, a job unrelated to trading, and also a discussion about my strategy. I got an interesting question from someone on Twitter. I can't quite remember you. Obviously, you do follow the. I'm assuming you follow the channel. If not, and you have been seeing a couple of videos, I want to give a little bit of clarity in regards to how I trade Forex. So number one, it's high time frames. And the reason for that is I've come to realize I've actually traded not in a Forex capacity, but as a full-time trader, I traded in Sydney for a little while last year, and I was on the desk all the time. It was actually Bitcoin future contracts, trading with BidMEX. And I didn't really enjoy trading all the time. That really wasn't for me. So that's why I do trade the high time frames. And the second thing is because of VPN issues. So to run MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5, I use MetaTrader 4 with the brokers that I use, is that I've got to have the VPN on and it's got to be connected to allow me to actually trade. And the strategy that I do use is a trend trading system, essentially. Although occasionally, if I see a signal for a reversal, that's sort of proven itself, and I'll explain that later. I will take that, but essentially it's a trend thing. So the Aussie Kiwi, and what I look for, and I've made a lot of videos in regards to backtesting strategies. So to backtest a strategy, you go back in time with historical data using Forex Tester software. Not that expensive, not a monthly thing, very easy to use. It's cheap. It's like, I think the most you pay is like $300 one-off payment. But there's a link in my description, not in this video, but in older videos before when I came over to China. So from like mid-February, those videos would have the link in there. So anyway, so it's trend following, and I take it on the 4 hour, but I want to see it trending on the daily. I use the weekly for support and resistance identification. And that's sort of essentially it. Now, I understand you're thinking like, wow, Scott, that's really basic, and it is. And, I'll answer on an engulfing candle. So an engulfing candle would be, you've got a small candle for a bullish setup. The candle will completely engulf the previous candle in the 4 hour, and it will close near the high. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, Scott, that's, I understand you want to buy low and sell high, but I'm getting on a breakout or on a trend. And I set and forget the trade. Like Aussie Kiwi was fantastic. That's the only trade that I've taken this week. I think I went short the euro earlier in the month, and I also shorted the USD yen. That did not reverse. Now, that was something a little different. A secondary play where I'll use less risk. So I'll use around 2% risk on the trends, up to 2%. I actually didn't. It was a right 1.5% for the Aussie Kiwi trade. USDN was like 0.5%, because it had sort of reversed a little bit. And when I look for a reversal, it goes down once, it comes back up, and then it goes down again. And I don't ever, sell into support. So it was below that support level, and it sort of bounced up and hasn't really been doing much. And I also want to make commentary about the ranges and how, difficult it's been. And it's, for trend traders out there, like my trading friend, Connor. He also has a YouTube channel as well. I'm going to put that in the description as well. So obviously I'm using my phone. I don't have all the descriptions and everything and all the videos in the catalog that I normally have. And it's been a little frustrating, to be honest, but it sort of helped me. So this whole thing has taught me that I trade best when I'm not in front of the chart. So me working with what I've been doing here in a sports science capacity in China has really helped me. So I'm still in the prop firm trial with Lupus Proprietary Trading or Jackson Capital. They're based in Melbourne. So April is looking, it's over 2% so far, so that's good. And I'll continue to update everyone. So it's going to be June. End of June will be the 3 months, and then there'll be capital allocation and, based on how they feel about my strategy and everything like that. So the stuff you see that I'm doing now, if you go back through my channel, you'll see hundreds of backtesting videos. And I'm not selling anything here. That's how I see the market. via the patterns that present themselves, they present over and over again. And then you can get statistical analysis completed on, what risk you should use in regards to return. Obviously, you don't want to ever use more than 2%, but you can see your win, your loss ratios. You can see profit factors, Sharpe ratios as well. Everything's there. So you want to have a plan before you just jump in. And everyone's, following signals and everything like that, which is fine. But if you go off on your own and you don't really know what you're doing, psychologically, you're more vulnerable. So what I mean by that is you don't really know what's going on. You haven't tested anything. You have no data. So you might have 3 losers in a row, but if you've back tested, that's sort of fine. You could, potentially have like 6 winners in a row, and that's happened to me. So from a psychological standpoint, it puts you in good stead, and you're much more grounded, because trading is extremely psychologically based, in the sense that you have a strategy, and it's difficult to follow the rules under stress with real money. So you've just got to be aware of that. Like if you see something online and you're following someone, that's all well and good, but it's still difficult because, they might be happy to hold a losing trade that they've risked not much money on. They've followed their plan, but you might be following on a smaller account and the lot size doesn't correlate, and you're at 10% risk. So you're going to be freaking out. You won't be able to sleep properly. That's really not what trading should be. Trading should be, you're at ease with the position you're in. You shouldn't feel stressed, and you should just be able to let it go, especially high time frame trading. Lower time frame trading is a lot more difficult, and you have to be very focused. So you can't just sort of just jump in and do a little bit like that. That's sweet. You've really got to give the time to develop a strategy, have some rules written down, and it's sort of that simple. And then it's time to develop the skill of being a good trader. So I just want to answer that question. What is my strategy? It's a trend trading strategy first and foremost. Then I will dabble into some other strategies with reversals, but much less risk. So if you want to narrow down where I sort of got things from, I would YouTube search or Google search Walter Peters. And he really, especially from a psychological standpoint, with the strategies that he sort of taught with meditation and mindfulness, you would really want to look into that, because it's helped me immensely, because it's really not just trading, it's a lot more involved. And I don't want to go into huge detail because I have to keep the VPN connected to upload this video, so I'm aware of that. So I'm going to upload this. Walter Peters, search for Forex Connor on YouTube as well. He's got some great videos. Not many, but very insightful about identifying support and resistance, how to backtest. I've got how to backtest as well. Please feel free to get in touch with me. I do reply to comments, and we can go from there. We can use Skype, we can use WhatsApp, we can use, whatever. I have Instagram as well, Scotty's Trading. Trade Talk Pippin is the Twitter feed as well, so check it out. I'm going to conclude this video, guys. Get some sleep. Have a good night. But yeah, so this is what it's like trading in China, and a bit of a background on my strategy. Low risk, it's conservative, it's not home run stuff, it's not crazy stuff, but that's what I do. Bye for now.